Hi, this is Walking and Talking. Now, I'm going to talk about past. The past is the topic of our speaking club on this week. And, well, I need to prepare myself to the speaking club, and that's why I want to think about past right now. Well, let's see. What do I know about the past? One thing which springs to mind immediately is that the past, it's the same as history. So if we think about science, like which science does study past? It's history. And there can be a history of everything. A history of science, history of technologies, history of the world, of some particular countries, and species. Well, lots of different things. So, history and past, they're kind of equal. And I think it's really important to think about your personal history. So when you, for example, think about past, you know that your past is different from everybody else's past. Not only in terms of your personal history, it also in terms of like culture, because all events which you see in past, they are not the same as, for example, my events, and there's a certain structure in which you usually organize your experience. And again, not only your personal experience, but experience like what you study in school, for example, or what you read in books. So because obviously there were something before you appeared to this world. And well, since you start studying it, you like being an individual, you'll find something different than I can find or anybody else can find. I think it's kind of, past is pretty subjective, but we have also like objective past, let's call it that way. So some events which happened in the past, and most of us agree that they happened at this moment, and well, maybe most of us even agree in their meaning, because it's really hard to like argue about some events. But okay, I'm not going to dive in this material. Now I want to focus on the past of our speaking club. And I want to start from now, like this 30 November or November 30th. Yeah, and tomorrow we have a discussion about past. See, I'm trying to train my pronunciation, past. I know that I need to use this and it's an unusual sound because in my native language we don't have this sound. And it's really difficult to pronounce that sound. Even if I know how it pronounced, it still requires some concentration. Okay, past. Last week we were discussing what was there. Yeah, when I think I can build a sequence of like half a year without problems, but since I start recording myself, my memory works worse. Okay, last week we discussed democracy. Yeah, it was democracy, and it was kind of well, I'm not going to make any comments, even if I wrote the whole page after this discussion trying to clarify my thoughts on what happened there. And now I'm not going to, to think and to talk about each particular topic because it will take a lot of time and I want to build the whole sequence. So it was 24th November when we discussed democracy. At 17th November we discussed memory. Yeah, we were talking about memory. At 10 November we were talking about health. So now I can see it. Before that there was present at 3rd November. This thing I can remember quite clearly. We can talk about it for as much time as I need, but now I don't need to talk about that at all. So okay, 27th October, the topic was public speaking, and I wasn't a leader of this club because I haven't prepared this topic. Another man worked on this theme. Before that we were talking about, it was October, what was 20? Yeah, it was 20th October, and we discussed. What have we discussed? 20th October. Fear. I'm not sure. Was it fear before public speaking? No, it was law. Yeah, it was law. 20th October we discussed law. And before that, at 13th October, we discussed fear. And at 6th October, we discussed worldview. Yeah, the topic was worldview. Before that, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was worldview. Yeah, it was worldview. At 6th October, at 29th September, we discussed boredom. At 22nd September, we discussed time. At 15th September, there was culture. So we were talking about culture. And well, again, I can remember. Like all these themes, I can remember some questions, and in general, I see a kind of vague picture of this whole event. I think if I can focus on each event, I can talk about it for like 10-15 minutes. But again, now it's not the case. Now I want to go back as far as I can. So 15th September there was culture. Before that, at 9 and 8th September there was intelligence. Before there was dreams at 1st September. 25 August we discussed mythology. 18 August we discussed greatness. 11 August we discussed aggression. 4th August we discussed confidence. 28th June we discussed honesty. 21 June we discussed justice. 14 June we discussed wisdom, and 7 June there was freedom. And so I can go even deeper, but this 7th June, it was the time when I started working a little bit, when I started investing more energy in preparing topics. I remember it quite clearly. The whole week from 7 June to 14 June I was thinking about topics in the future, so I tried to find something that we can discuss, and I tried to build this whole sequence. And well, I didn't build the sequence in the same way as it then happened. I mean, when I started making these topics, I was thinking, and whenever something interesting pops to my mind, I was okay, it's interesting, we can talk about it some in the future, and I put it on my list. And eventually I made a list with 30 topics, different topics. And then at every week I choose one different topic out of these 30 to see how, like, when I wanted to think about this particular topic, or when I was interested in that topic, I just choose it for Speaking Club, and I worked on it. I read articles on Wikipedia, watch some videos usually, and also try to think about it on my own, try to write something. And well, all these topics, like, now I can hold them in my memory. It's not so hard, and I can add, like, every week one topic, and it works pretty well. I mean, I don't put lots of energy there, I don't think too much about it. It just I need to repeat the whole sequence once a week, and usually I repeat it in my mind, I don't talk about it. But now, yeah, I just recorded it, I think like 4 minutes more. Yeah, I think I can record like every week one video, the same which I did with poetry. So I can learn one poem and I can record it, and it can become, you know, something that I can talk about in one of the videos which I usually record with this walking and talking. And so it's kind of interesting because, you know, when there's only one topic or one theme, and when you think about this one theme, you have kind of, you know, little picture, and it gets bigger and bigger, and the more, it's like each topic, when you keep them all in mind, like, they all help you to understand the next one and the next one. So when I need to think about past, I can even start from, you know, from just asking myself how it connected to different topics which we already discussed before. And I can take, oh, okay, let's think about culture, for example. Just I don't think like in the same sequence, like if, for example, last time we discussed democracy. I don't need to think about democracy in past. I can just choose everything which pops to my mind, because I can keep, there's like 20 something topics in my mind. Oh, like culture is interesting, because culture, it's like it's mostly all about past. So it's like you have again your personal memory, and culture is a kind of collective memory which you can study and which you can understand. And so in culture and past, like we'll talk about past in terms of culture. So we can compare different culture, when they appeared, how they appeared, what is in the basis of culture. Because in, like, it's like culture, it's similar to tradition, and every tradition starts from some particular event, or, you know, yeah, we can say event, like maybe some person, like in mythology. Again, we can just take this topic, mythology. So in mythology, all states are based on some characters. So you can go just, okay, Rome, for example, Rome. Rome was based on Romul and Rem story about you know, their life, and probably they killed, yeah, one of them killed another, and so and that's why this brother murder was a leitmotif in Roman culture, and not only Roman, but in the heirs of Roman culture, like mostly all European countries. Yeah, and well, it's interesting to go back in past and see like different characters and find some similarities between them. But what else we can connect with, like intelligence also. It's like intelligence. What is intelligence? Like when you think about past and intelligence, you can also like find something really similar, because intelligence is like, well, let's suppose that it's a mechanism from one point of view which helps you to, to understand things, to function in this world like effectively, yeah. And from another point of view, it's like your knowledge, like everything you know, everything you can understand, everything you can learn. You can not just can learn, everything that you have learned in your life. And the wider your knowledge, and the deeper, not deeper, but because the point is just when you just learn lots of things which you can connect, it's often like useless. You can't use it. But when you learn something and you connect everything that you learn, like take these topics, right? For example, I prepare them, I think about them, I try to connect them, and it helps me to, to clarify my own understanding. Not only about these topics, but about everything else, because I can, like, whatever I need to understand, whatever I need to conceptualize, I can use these topics. And again, like, suppose that I need to understand past and what is past, I can just take this idea of past and like connect it with all other topics which I called like in the beginning of this video, and then I can understand past very clearly, and like it's really useful. But it's not just past. Like any idea, everything that you learn, you can if you connect it with other knowledge which you have, it helps you to understand the better. And when you study language, of course, when you just memorize things, when you memorize lots of different words and sentences, it's pretty useless. So you just you don't learn